Hello, hello, hello. If you are joining me, hello, pop comment in. Hey, Tara. I'm going to just wait and give people a minute to join me. If you'd like to pop a comment in the chat box if you're joining me, please do so. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, Alyssa. Welcome, welcome. I'm just going to give everyone an opportunity to jump in. Hey, Shannon. If you're joining me, pop a comment in. How is your weekend going? How are the holidays shaping up for you? What is happening? Also, please let me know if you can join me if the sound and audio is okay. Because I'm not using my headphones. I've got music to go in the background. Hopefully, hey JD, hopefully we get clarity, because sometimes I know Zoom can be a little bit wonky and weird with background music. So I'm just hoping that that is all going to be good and you'll be able to hear me. So can you just pop a comment in the chat? Anybody? What's happening? Okay. Oh, hello, JD. Hey, Shannon. So awesome. Thanks, Tara. Yep. I never know. I never know what's happening or how it's going to happen or how it's going to work. Hello, Alyssa. Excellent. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. Appreciate the feedback. All right. That makes it easy because now I know that we are good to go. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me for this meditation. I'm really I'm very, very excited for where we are right now in terms of the energies. It has been, sorry, just need to turn my lamp on. The last 12 months have been, I don't know if I've got words to describe the last 12 months, actually. It's been an incredibly confronting 12 months for many people. And being an 11 year, so this has been a real power year, an 11 year. And being an 11 year, it has been off the charts crazy in terms of clearing things and shifting things. So it's really been an intense time of kind of getting our proverbial poo together and working through some of the issues that even things that perhaps we thought we dealt with. So I know personally I've had a lot of this coming up where around my identity. And it's been a really interesting thing because we're being sort of asked to align with our higher self, our soul's purpose and why we're here. I mean, this is sort of the whole point, really. But that has been happening more and more and more. And the push has been sort of stronger and stronger. And so any sort of residual stuff that we're carrying around with us, any sort of residual emotions, energetic kind of, I don't want to say blockages as much, but even sort of energetic bubbles, if you like, that kind of get stuck inside us, bubbles of, different beliefs or different ideas about who we are or different ideas about people's opinions and perspectives of who we are. Expectations, all this sort of stuff that starts to muddy the waters and get in the way of our natural alignment and flow. Think of it like sort of the debris that sits in streams, that the water has to try and sort of get around. And so, there's not that sort of beautiful, uninterrupted, just babbling brook. You might end up with, people have come along and dumped some toxic waste in there. And, it's no longer babbling freely. It's kind of bubbling around all of this junk that's muddying up the waters. So 2018 and this being an 11 year was really about looking at the things that have been muddying up our waters and cleaning out our flow, our stream. And, given that it was a power number and also 11 and a 2 year, it has been absolutely full on in that sense. And anything that we thought we'd cleared out. So you know how sometimes we think we've done the work and we think we've cleared things out, and then all of a sudden something will sort of like pop its head up and go, hello, remember me? And you go, oh, what are you doing there? So that's really the kind of year it was. It was about being aware and actually being able to notice what was going on from a more internal perspective, so we could do the internal work and the inner work to clear those blockages. So if we spent 2018 still focusing outside of ourselves, still going, oh, I need to control that, I need to control that, I need to change that, I need to do that, I need to do that over here, oh, it's about that person over there, oh, that person makes me this, or whatever it might be, connecting to that, to ourselves from that external perspective rather than the internal perspective. If we spent 2018 doing that, then there's a lot of lessons and learnings that, you know, have gone unheeded. And so I kind of, I wanted to use this meditation and this time to really allow further integration of the lessons and learnings that have happened for each of us, and also collectively over this year, and to look at how we can take those into the next 12 months and actually apply them so that we are further expanding. Rather than sitting in the same sort of lessons and learnings, we're actually opening ourselves up to further lessons and learnings and expanding into that. The other thing that is really, really interesting is I keep getting the message of surrender. And it's surrendering to that alignment with self is what specifically I feel 2019 is going to be about. So it's really interesting because, you know, there's the human being, which is what we are. We're human beings. But there's also the human doing. And I feel what we've become more so is the human doing. So we feel this great need to do, to push, to, you know, get things done, to tick things off our to-do list. It's like we have to do and run around. And that's actually how, you know, we succeed and we achieve. That's what we think, right? We have to do. And if we're not doing, then it's not going to get done, right? If we're not doing, it's not going to happen. That's sort of how we start to think. But the reality of it is the more we do, the more we're actually resisting and pushing. The more we do, the more we are taking ourselves out of alignment. So doing takes us out of alignment with the being. And it, in turn, it creates this sort of whole struggle, this whole resistance, because we are meant to be, right? We are meant to be. We are humans being. And the more we do and push and resist, the more we step out of alignment with that being, because we start to go into analytical brain. And, you know, that's where a lot of our doing happens, in analytical brain, right? Oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And you're picking it apart. And if I've got to get that done over there. And so to get that done over there, I've got to do this over there. And then I've got to get that done over there. So that'll happen and I'll do that, right? So what then occurs is we find ourselves out of that connection with our higher self, with our consciousness, with our creative flow, because we've stepped out of that to go into the analytical mind, right? And to go further and further into the analytical mind by further and further doing. And so we create this resistance to our natural state of being. And this is what I'm hearing we need to surrender to and give ourselves over to as we move forward into 2019. So last night there was an absolutely beautiful full moon. And as I looked up at it, I contemplated who I wanted to be. Not what I wanted to do in 2019, but who I wanted to be. And importantly, who I want to become. Right? You look at all the awesome words like become, believe, and they're all about being, right? And so it makes sense. And when I started to think about who I wanted to become rather than what I wanted to do, you know, this then doesn't become about what do I want to accomplish? What external shifts do I want to create in my reality? It became entirely about what internal shifts do I want to create? Who am I becoming? And who do I choose to become? Because this is the interesting thing. We can choose to become anyone, really. That we are beings of infinite possibility. You know, there are infinite versions of us living infinite potentials at any given time, and we can just put that on. You know, we can wear different aspects of who we are. We can wear different aspects of identity, and these things don't define us. It's more a sense of who we choose to be in that moment and who we choose to become. Can I get a yes? I'm getting this. And if I'm making sense, let me know. If I'm not making sense, likewise, let me know. By all means, just ask me any questions that you have. Brilliant. Thank you, Shannon. So this then becomes, amen, absolutely, Alyssa. So this then becomes about, thank you, Tara. This then becomes about not I define myself by what I do or how I feel or the actions I take even. It's about who I am being within all of that. And the various cloaks and identities that we can layer ourselves in, you know, and what are we putting on? You know, from moment to moment, what are we putting on? Who are we choosing to be and who are we choosing to become? And so this is about sort of stepping into conscious alignment with this so that we can therefore recognize, you know, and project forward. This is the other amazing thing because, you know, whatever we are becoming, we already are. This is the other interesting thing. So if we are becoming that, then we are that, logically, because you can't, you know, you're not just going to like go from being a worm to a dragonfly. I don't know what that analogy was, but you're welcome, JD. But, you know, you're not going to just sort of go from one extreme to another, right? But you are exactly, Shannon, it's in the vortex. It's already there. It's already in that whole, like, plane of universal existence that we are within. You know, it is all already around us, within us, of us. You know, it's right there. And so it's just about stepping into what we choose to become and recognizing, you know, who is she? What does she embody? How does she feel? You know, how does she appear in this third dimensional reality that she exists within? You know, how does she co-create in that reality? How does she feel as a co-creator in that reality? You know, and wearing that and being that. That's what it's about. Wearing it, being it, becoming it. And in becoming it, you are being it, right? So if you decide you want to be a version of you in the next 12 months, right? And this is what this meditation is all going to be about. So whatever version of you that you want to be in the next 12 months, because an identity too is not fixed, right? This is the other thing. We come to think of our identity as fixed, and our identity becomes a habit, right? How we behave, how we think, how we feel, how we respond to the world around us. It all kind of becomes habitual, right? It's an unconscious thing that we do. We don't even think what we're doing about half the time. We just respond, right? It just happens. And, you know, we get up in the morning, brush our teeth, blah, 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 go through our day. And frequently we're not actually thinking about that process. We're just doing, right? We're not being, we're doing frequently. The doing is the habitual stuff. It's when we're all up here. You know, it's just blah, blah, blah. Yeah, habits happens out of mindlessness. Exactly. That's exactly right, Shannon. So when we bring it back to the being, we become, that's mindfulness. being is mindfulness. We talk about mindful practice, but really, we have all of these, catchphrases in the spiritual world, enlightenment and, mindfulness and all this sort of stuff. And they're kind of these buzzwords, but, and people use them all the time. And look, I do too. I'm not judging anyone. We use them all the time, and we don't really stop to actually contemplate what they really mean, right? What does mindfulness mean? I mean, I'm talking about getting out of the mind, not so present in this mind. Well, I'm not actually talking about getting out of the mind. I'm talking about not just being up here in this doing mind, but also connecting with, our feeling mind and our instinctive mind, our gut, our heart, our brain, all minds. And so how are we connecting? And this is the mindfulness. I mean, if you think about the mindfulness, it is the fullness of using all of our internal mind. And our mind is not just up here. It's not just our brain. It's not just the unconscious programming that's running the show. It's all of this. And if we can have all of this in alignment, this is a state of mindfulness, and it is a state of presence and being, right? Because when we're thinking about how we're responding, how we're feeling, how we're being, then we are connecting in with all of it. We're not just connecting in here and analyzing, we're thinking and doing, we're thinking about the being, which needs to come from here and here as well, right? So Shannon, the core of who we are. Yes, exactly. Then we are mindful. We are full. We're not only operating from here or only operating from here or only operating from here. In our being, it's like this, it's like everything sort of switches on. You know how you have those aha moments and you feel it? You're like, oh my God, I just realized something amazing, phenomenal. I've just blown my own mind. Oh, what a lesson. That was a huge lesson. Wow. Right. I'll share with you a very personal lesson that I have gone through this year. Just quickly. So in a nutshell, I have lived in the same area for quite a number of years. I don't really want to say how many. All right, 20 odd years. I've lived in the same area. In fact, all my life, you could say I've lived in this sort of this energy vortex, this part of the world, right? Geographically speaking, I've moved out of it on occasion and, gone here, there, or other places, but ultimately I've always come back, right? Always come back. And so, that just sort of happened. I just start to, hey, Sharon, thanks for joining us. I just start to sort of come back. I'm actually wondering if maybe I need to put a link in, because people might think this was happening on Facebook. I don't know. I put the Zoom link in anyway. If someone feels inclined to share the Zoom link and say we're live now, please go for it. Oh, thanks, Shannon. Awesome. Appreciate it. So anyway, so I've lived in this area for a long time, and Shannon, you know this story, so you can share it. So all good. You need to listen to this. And it sort of became a part of who I was, right? And I had this realization a little while ago. I actually had this realization probably a good 18 months to 2 years ago, after I'd done the bulk of work that I had to do to move beyond the pain that I was sitting in. So you weren't here until 10:30, Sharon. Yep, there you go. I should put a little reminder up. And I had the realization, but the interesting thing was I didn't really act on. Well, no, I didn't really act on it. I'm not even going to make any excuses for myself. I just didn't really act on it, right? So I realized it, but it was still safe for me to be here, right? This was sort of my comfort zone. I know this area so well. I've lived all around this area, still within the same region, but all around. And I'm like, yeah, and I could wear it. It was comfortable, right? So this is the thing. I've been wearing this area as part of my identity. And I have had multiple in the last 2 years slaps, right? Universal slaps, I call them. The universal wake up slap. What are you doing? Right? It's like, to move from this particular area. Okay. And it's really interesting because a lot of the past identity associated with this area, it wasn't a great identity. You know, she was, that version of who I was steeped in her pain, was steeped in drama, was, you know, the proverbial ship magnet, basically. Like, that is who she was. Okay. And so when I had the incredible, massive transformation from that and stepped through all of that into this whole other being. It was like I was meant to step out of this part of my identity, right, location-wise, geographically speaking. But I didn't, okay? And I sat here and I stayed here, right, because it was safe and it was comfortable, and it was probably the only lingering part of who I had been that I could really associate with. So, you know, and we all have this little, we get a bit of an attachment going, right? We get a bit of an attachment going to that identity because we've carried it around for so darn long. You know, for me, it had been pretty much my whole life in this area. And then, you know, 20 to 25 years in this specific part of the area. So very entrenched, you know, and therefore the more entrenched it is, it can be really hard to let go of. You know, we can be like, but no, that's a part of who I am, you know. And recently, this year particularly, has been just, you know, as I've said to people, it's like the universe is screaming at me, get out. Move, you know, move on. This is not your pond anymore. You don't belong here. It's not your pond. You've outgrown it, right? And who you are becoming and who you are being now, she doesn't fit here anymore. she's not part of this context anymore, and that's not part of your identity. And it was just like oh my God. And, you know, and very recently it was like the shift happened, right? So holy shift. Suddenly I was like, yep, well, this is happening now. And I'm going there, right? We're going there. And my whole family, it was really interesting because I asked all of my kids and, you know, and Jay's my partner, and all of us were just like, yep, we need to go there, right? As it happens, we're going to Queensland. We had decided that last year, right? We decided that after we had our little holiday up in Queensland last year, that we were going up there. And, you know, I mean, we even got back to where we were and we're just like, oh, you know what? None of us were feeling it. And then we got a slap then to get out of there. And then instead of going to Queensland, I kind of went, oh, that's a big change. And instead, I moved within the same pond, right? So it's kind of like, instead of just leaping entirely out of this pond into a whole new one that had whole new prospects, I kind of just swum over into another part of this one that's probably, you know, represents more of the toxic energy that I used to dwell in. And then I get another slap to go, no, this isn't right. You're not meant to be here. Okay. And as soon as first of all, I resisted, right? There was a moment of resistance. And I share this with you because we're all human. And I don't want you to think that, you know, enlightenment and mindfulness and all this sort of stuff means that we're this perfect being that never, you know, screws up or makes you know, goes that way when it was probably better if we had gone that way or something. Like, you know, we all do it. You know, it's a journey and it's learning. And if we don't do it, we don't learn and we don't grow. So what's the point, you know? But as soon as I integrated that learning, because for a while I wanted to just push against it and resist it. You know, I wanted to go, no, that's happening because of this and it's happening because of that. And it's not me. No, it's not me. And as soon as I pulled it back and stopped resisting and surrendered to, you know, well, I can sit here and do that. But the more I do that and the more righteous I get about it's not me, you know, and I start to do stuff and push it back against that force, it just got harder and harder and harder. And it was just getting more and more and more force, you know, and how much force do you want? You know, you can keep pushing, or you can like maybe pull back a bit and actually surrender to the fact that, hang on a minute, yes, it is you. And this is why. Because when we actually accept that rather than pushing back against it, then we can change it. We can actually create something different. We can actually go, well, you know what? Yes, this is me. And the brilliant thing about that is then we can go, okay, well, if this is me and I don't want to be this, then who do I want to be? Who is she? Where is she? What is she doing? And then I could start to actually reframe everything and go, well, the me that I am becoming and the me that I am being and the me that I want to be, because it's all the same thing, right? I can actually just look at her and look to her, literally, and go, where is she? Where is she? Where in the world is she? Right? And when I connect in to her, who she is and who she is being and who I am becoming, then I can quite clearly see where she is. You know, it doesn't matter how much I resist, I can see where she is. And so then it's just a case of being that and walking toward that being, that version of who I am becoming, right? And if we can keep that in our energy, if we can embody who we are becoming, who we see ourselves becoming, who we see ourselves evolving into within that energy, we can align with that and hold that. If we can come back to that. So this is the key, right? When you find yourself doing, pushing, resisting, oh, I've got to do, or it's not going to get done. Take a breath and bring yourself back in alignment with your being, because it's all right there. And then we are attracting to us what vibrates in the frequency of that being, not the doing, because frequently we're doing from the lower vibrational energies. We do generally out of fear, out of urgency. You know, we get a sense of urgency. Got to do that, got to do that, got to do that, or something's going to happen. Got to do that, or that's not going to happen. Got to do that, or it's not going to turn out right. So we do out of a sense of urgency, out of a sense of fear, out of a sense of anxiety, you know, stress, overwhelm, guilt, you know, whatever it might be, we push and we do. And when we actually just allow and are in alignment with being, so when we're pushing and doing, we're in all of those vibrations and that frequency, then we're attracting more of that, right? So lack is one that we frequently do from, right? I need to do more because I don't have enough. So, and I need more. So when we do from lack, we invariably sit within that frequency of lack, and more lack comes our way because we attract things into us. We pull things into our energetic field based on what we are putting out into the energetic field. So if we're putting out a lot of lack, then we're pulling in a lot of lack, right? So if we are being, and in that being, we are sitting within the identity of self who is in alignment with abundance and gratitude, and there's always more than enough, and I'm always provided for, then we are in that energy and that vibration and that frequency. And that is what we start to call into ourselves and attract in to our energy, right? Make sense? Hoping I'm making sense. Let me know if I'm making sense, or if I'm not. Indeed, let me know if you have any questions, ladies. Total sense. Thank you, Shannon. The universe will shove us when we don't listen. Never my fault. Yeah, I know. We all do it. Never my fault. Not my fault. No, it was that person. That person. They did that. They did that. Mm-hmm. And look, it's not to say that people don't, you know, do things that they shouldn't do, and that happens. You know, I'm not denying that at all. But if we continue to externalize all of those experiences and just put it on the shoulders of that person and never actually look at our own experience within that, at our own potential for growth and learning and expansion, because every moment brings with it the opportunity and the potential for growth and expansion. But if we're too busy pointing fingers and sitting in emotion or sitting in head or, sitting in gut, if we're responding just from blurting, or if we're responding from emotional blurting, or if we're responding from analytical doing brain, and we're not sort of within this whole alignment of being, then we're only getting part of the picture. We're only getting part of the potential that we have. We might be able to analyze it and get a little bit of a new thought associated with it, or a new, way to resolve it from our analytical mind. But we're not necessarily going to resolve the emotion around it, or we're not going to necessarily take our power in terms of how we deal with it. Alyssa, perfect sense, can see it, just need to embrace it. Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's about embracing it just in the moment, and we all step out of alignment with our being. Frequently, we kind of forget, but it's about bringing it back to that whole. And, for those there are a few of you who've been on the TRTP journey with me. And so, you'll know that if we can just bring it back to that, just by being, I am enough, right? That is ultimately the thing I come back to, because that is the ultimate truth. Just by being, I am enough. We are all here contributing to the energy that we sit in, just by being here. All the doing is our doing. We decided that we had to come here and do, right? And do more. That's of our invention and our creation. That was an optional extra. It wasn't necessarily the whole intention of our energy being in this space. But that's the reality that we've created. That's the third dimensional reality we've created, a reality of doing. So when we can bring it back to the being, and it's just about stepping out of that third dimension for a moment and going, hang on a minute, just by being, I am enough. And remembering that this meat suit that we inhabit, this is not our being, right? It's another cloak, another form of our identity, just the same as wearing any other form of our identity. Whatever we believe about ourselves, it's the same thing. So we can choose. All right, I probably prattled on long enough, and we have a meditation to get to. So we're going to jump into that now. So this time, like I said, it's really about surrender. It's about, allowing ourselves to move through anything else that we need to sort of move through, so that we can really transition into the energy frequency that's changing. There's definitely, and I actually was at a beautiful solstice Yule celebration last night with some lovely friends, and met some beautiful new people as well. And we were all sort of talking about, the energy, and everyone was saying, the shift, it feels like there's been this sort of huge shift, and there's been an absolutely massive shift in just the way everything around us is flowing and moving. And we're kind of heading into a really like a whole new what can I call it, a whole new phase of humankind, where we're moving into a whole new part of our reality, and we're moving into a whole new era where we can create something entirely different, right? We have the capacity now, and the help, the guidance to reframe, our collective identity as humans, and move further into this collective idea of being rather than doing. So that's really what this meditation is intended to be about. It's intended to use this beautiful energy and really align with that beautiful energy. And, you know, we've got the full moon in Cancer. We've got, I mean, that in itself, you know, Cancer is a time, it's about flow. It's about, you know, I was talking to someone about Cancerians yesterday. I'm surrounded by them. And we were talking about the tendency to move sideways, you know, the crab, right? So when the crab is not in flow, it has a tendency to kind of move sideways and avoid, right? So it's like, no, I'm going to scurry over here and just avoid that. You've got to catch them while they're doing it because they're quick. And once they scurry, it's like, where'd they go? So it's the same sort of thing. This energy is really the same sort of thing. It's like we're either going to be in flow and go with it and not be afraid to actually in that flow look all around us at all aspects of self, right? And open up to that. So it's about being in that, surrendering to that and allowing that rather than scuttling sideways and avoiding, right? So flow through whatever comes up for you. And I encourage you in this meditation to do the same. Flow through what is coming up for you. Don't resist, don't push it away, and don't scurry to the side, right? And avoid. Allow it, allow, be. That is the state of being, is just allowance and acceptance. Shannon, I think you said it before. Change always starts with acceptance. That's it. So it's just the acceptance, because change is just about going with the flow. Change happens around us all the time. We're constantly changing. We're constantly becoming someone new, whether we even are aware of it or not. So this is about becoming more aware of it. And it's about surrendering to that process, allowing that process, accepting that process. How are we going? All good? So this is the premise of the meditation that we are doing today. So I will, like I said, stop talking and get organized and go on even with this. Sorry, I'm just changing screens around and swapping things around and blah, blah, blah. Excuse me while I just get myself organized. So make sure you are comfortable. If you need to go have a loo break, a wee break, or get a glass of water or whatever it is, just make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you're somewhere you're not going to be disturbed. And we're going to go on this beautiful journey together. So I'm going to put some music on now. Hopefully sometimes when I play music via Zoom, it's a little bit, the music sort of fades in and out. So I'm just going to put it on. Let me know if you can hear the music, if it's a good volume, not too loud. So just pop a comment in if you can, and just let me know that that's working for you. Okay. Everyone hear that? Working, that's good. Thanks, Tara. Awesome. All right. So just getting comfortable. Like I said, making sure you're not somewhere you're going to be disturbed. And however you want to do this, you can do this laying down, sitting up. It's up to you. Just making sure you're comfortable. And when you're ready, just closing your eyes. And just take a deep breath in. Breathe all the way in. Allow your lungs to expand. Drawing that breath all the way down through your body. Inhaling all the way down into your abdomen. And on the exhale, every time you exhale, just feeling any stale energy any heavy energy that you no longer want to carry around. Just feel yourself exhaling that from your body, breathing that out of your body. Breathing in clean, fresh air. Breathing it all through your lungs. Right down, feeling your abdomen expand. Releasing any stale energy as you exhale. And every time you inhale, just feeling your heart space expand. Starting to draw that breath in. And as your abdomen expands, feeling to your chest expanding. Feeling your heart space expand and open up. Feel it opening up further than it's ever opened up before. Just continue breathing in and out. Drawing that breath all through your body. Feeling your body relax into the space around you. Surrender into the space around you. And each time you inhale now and draw that breath all through your body, you can see it start to move and shift through each one of your chakras. Breathing in that oxygen, that energy we're so abundantly gifted from Source. The abundant life force we're surrounded by. And breathing it in now through the crown chakra. And seeing that beautiful swirling violet purple energy. Seeing it move beautifully now. And as it swirls there in your crown chakra, you get a sense of all the knowledge that resides within. And your connection to the all. All the knowledge you've buried deeply in your DNA. All the knowledge of the universe itself, stored in your cells, in your energy. Connect to that now. Trust in that now. Surrender to that now. As you inhale that abundant life force, that energy into your body from Source, feel it moving down through the core of your being now, into your third eye. As it swirls there among the beautiful indigo energy. You start to get a real sense of your inner strength and intuition. The strength and intuition that's carried you here to this moment, in spite of all that might have challenged you, all that might have happened in your life. And just feel that beautiful energy swirling around and that strength opening up in you. Connect to that now. Trust in that now. Surrender to that now. And as you inhale deeply, feeling the flow of that energy moving through into your throat chakra. Seeing that blue swirling freely, uninhibited. And feeling your throat starting to open up now. Getting a sense of the beauty that surrounds you. And the beauty in the truth, the expansive truth of who you are. And feeling now that it is safe to express and speak your truth. That it is safe to communicate the wisdom that resides within you. To communicate your truth to the world in open expression. And knowing, feeling that as that energy moves through your throat, everything is opening up. And even how you speak now will be fuller, freer, more open. Connect to that now. Trust in that now. Surrender to that now. And as that beautiful energy continues to be drawn through your body, into your heart chakra, and feeling your heart space expand even more as the green swirling energy within that space starts to open up more and expand more and more. And as it expands, you get such a sense of love, pure, unconditional love and acceptance, compassion and support for you, for your highest self, from within and from all around you. You breathe it in and you can feel the abundance of support and love, like a big universal hug from source energy. And you feel your heart space open even further to receive this beautiful energy. To receive openly and in gratitude the abundance of love and support that you are surrounded by. Now in this moment and eternally. Connect to that now. Trust in that now. Surrender to that now. As that energy moves through your solar plexus. And you see the yellow swirling all around your diaphragm. And you start to get a real sense of who you are, the value that you bring to this world. A sense of your worth here, your purpose here. A clarity around the unique gifts that you bring to this planet and share with others just by being. And you know in that energy that just by being, just by embracing those gifts, enjoying them, honoring them, allowing and accepting them, just by being, you are enough. Connect to that now. Good, yes. Trust in that now. Lean into that now. Surrender to that now. Good. As that energy continues to flow with each breath you take, drawn in to the sacral area, the sacral chakra, into your abdomen, into your belly. You see that beautiful orange energy swirling so freely, opening up. And you get a sense of deep self-respect. You actually start to acknowledge the incredible being you are. You start to see this infinite, amazing being for all of her beauty, all of her potential. And you get a sense of the pleasure you are here on this earth to embody and experience. Yes, the pleasure this being resides in, this being embraces, embodies, yes, acknowledges, allows. The joy, the physical pleasure, your own beautiful sensuality, sexuality. And you feel yourself newly energized as you step into alignment with your creative flow. In that deepest part of your being. Yes, it feels amazing. Connect to that now. Trust in that now. Surrender to that now. As the energy flows through you and swirls down into your root chakra, gently transitioning from orange to beautiful flame red, and all the way down in your body, connecting to the earth. You feel this intense energy, this beautiful swirling red power. Yes. And as you get a sense of this power, you open yourself up to a deeper awareness, a deeper knowing of who you are, of the being you are. Yes. The incredible being, the powerful being who embodies courage, determination. And you feel yourself opening up to that passion for life that you had as a child. Remember that passion that you held as a child, that joy, that exuberance, that excitement, that adventure, when everything was new. And you feel yourself connecting to that again, yes, and opening up to it. And through your whole body, from down within your legs and your feet, and up through your groin and through your abdomen and your whole body now, right to the top of your head, you can feel this charge, this sense of energy, of excitement, of opening up and connecting to that now, that passion, that adventure, that willingness to embrace the new, to explore. Yes. And you open yourself deeply now in that place to self and to source. You are strengthening your connection as you open yourself up to that energy. And you feel yourself connected in to the energy all around you, the earth itself. Connect to that now. Surrender to that now. Yes, trust. And now you feel yourself rising up, rising up out of your body, up into the cosmos, up into that universe full of infinite possibility, full of source energy, full of love. And as you feel yourself rising up, 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 further and further and further and further, you feel yourself rising into the all, connecting with that expansive energy. Yes. Higher, elevated, free, connecting into the energy of source, of the universe, of your guides. And as you sit in that space now, I invite you to connect to the moment of your creation. The moment you first came into being in this universe. Yes. Connecting in with that now. The first time, the first moment in this place that we exist, when you came to be, when you came into being, when your energy bubbled up and grew from the expansive vibration and frequency of love. The very moment of your creation. Allow yourself to really connect into that space as the infinite energy you are. Allow yourself to connect into that moment when your energy was conceived in the pure force of love and creation. And feel that vibration of pure love all around you now. Nothing else. You are back at that point. Back at that point before anything else came into your energy field. Before anything else came in and influenced or entered your energy field. You are back at that place where it is just you as pure universal energy, as pure love, connected deeply to source. Connected to the all. Connect into that now. Yes. Trust in that now. Surrender to that now. And as you do, you feel your heart space open even further now. Opening up and expanding even more to allow and accept that connection to your highest, most pure self. And in that space, your connection to the all, to the infinite source energy that you are made from, the same thing as the stars and the moon and the sun. Feel that now. Feel that energy of everything just move through you. And just allow it to move freely through you. Feel yourself completely wrapped in that energy, that source energy, immersed in it. Connect to that now. Trust in that now. Surrender to that now. And in that vibration of pure love, from that vantage point, high above in that beautiful universe, that expansive cosmos, connected to source, to all of time, all of creation, all of possibility, in that vibration of pure love. Connect now to your own timeline within this incarnation, your own timeline from this lifetime. Just find it in that universal space around you. It's there. You'll look down and you'll see it clear as day. There it is, right before you, all of it. And now just start to zoom in on that timeline. Just start to zoom in and focus in from that point, that place up above, staying up above, and just observing from that place up above and zooming into the last 12 months of this journey that you are on right now. Connecting into the last 12 months of that. And just traveling along your timeline, just taking a moment now through December, November, rolling back and taking a moment to explore the last 12 months of your timeline from this objective place of pure love, pure infinite potential and possibility. And as you connect to that, as you connect to those 12 months of your existence in this third dimensional reality, in the body you currently reside in, it's like watching scenes from a movie. Just little scenes from a movie. And you can see yourself as the hero of that movie, experiencing all of those things, kind of watching like it's happening to someone else, watching her experience, watching her interactions, watching where she's been, what she's done, all of it, seeing it playing out like scenes from a movie. And just allowing the universal energy that you're sitting in that beautiful space of love, that vibration of love, allowing source to guide and assist you in this. And in that place of compassion and love, of observation, you start to notice now within each of those little movie scenes that you're watching, you start to notice the learning, the lessons, all that you have gained from your journey, the knowledge, the wisdom, the strength, the courage, the expansion. You notice all of it now. You see her and all the things that she experienced and that she perceived as both good and bad at the time they happened, whatever it might have been. All of those things, the things that brought happiness, the things that brought tears, the things that brought immense joy, the things that were exciting, the things that were terrifying, all of those things, all of those experiences, you see them now not as good or bad or anything else, but for what they actually are, for the experiences that are shaping the being she has become, and she is in this moment, and that is still shaping the being that she is becoming. And you see, there is no good and bad. No, not really. Just experiences shaping the being that you are. lending to your universal knowledge and wisdom, to all of the knowing that resides within you, and just expanding you to that further, opening you up to that connection further. Just observe those movie scenes. Take a moment and observe those lessons. And as you take that moment, I now ask in gratitude and love. I ask in open acceptance for Source, for all of my guides and your guides to facilitate the gentle, loving, compassionate integration of these learnings and experiences. I invite Source energy in and ask that this happen now for all who are watching and joining now in this meditation, and all who will be doing this meditation in the future. I ask for this integration to be allowed right now, right in this moment, as we observe, observing your timeline. And as you observe, just allow and feel the integration of that learning. Yes. Even if it still doesn't make sense to you, even if you haven't been able to make sense of it on this physical plane, knowing that it makes sense to the being you are and the being you are becoming, trusting that it is all for a reason and all for a purpose. And it is all creating a greater alignment with yourself, with your soul, with your truth. Good. Just allowing and opening yourself up to that integration. You don't have to analyze it. You don't have to understand it from a conscious, conceptual place. You just have to allow and accept and surrender to that integration, to that learning, so that you can take it forward with you. Yes. Thank you. And with these newly integrated learnings, this new sense of expansion, we are now going to travel forward on your timeline, still from that place of love, compassion, trust, abundant universal support. We are going to travel 12 months into the future. 12 months from now. And again, allowing yourself to just gently observe the journey. And fast forwarding along that timeline to the being you are, to who you have become 12 months from now. Totally different person, totally different being. Who is she? Where is she? What is she doing? More importantly, who has she become? What qualities and attributes does she possess? As you observe her from above, Allow yourself for a moment to travel further down into that timeline, into that place where your future self resides. To travel down further and further and further until you are right there in front of her. Until you are looking at her, observing her, right in front of her, right in front of you, and you are connected to her, holding her hands, holding the physical being that she is now, that she has become. This version of you 12 months from now, looking into her eyes and connecting with who she is. What qualities does she possess? What attributes does she possess? How does she feel? Does she feel calm, assertive, stronger, wiser, more expansive? How has she grown? What brings her joy? As you stand connected to her, feeling that love, that acceptance, that support. As you feel that, ask her now. Ask her who she is, how she feels. Connect in with her and with her joy. And allow the response, allow her to tell you, to inform you, to show you who you are being and who you are becoming in that being. Take a moment now. Ask her anything you desire and listen to the wisdom and the knowledge that she has for you. As she shares all of her wisdom with you, all of her amazing insight, she tells you, just by being you, just by being, you are more than enough. And you are loved. And you are supported. And you are eternally provided for. You just need to trust. You just need to surrender to that knowing. and to be in that knowing. Because this is who you are, and this is who you are becoming. And she slowly lets go of your hands. And she smiles. And you feel her warmth, her love. You feel a deepening connection to who you are being and who you are becoming. And you feel your heart space expand even further with that knowledge and with her love. And in that expansion now, you float up and away and out of that timeline, out of that time in your future. And you slowly start to integrate and embody all of that and bring it all into the being that you are now. Bring it all into this third dimensional reality with you. Yes. You will bring all of it back, all of the integration, all of the learning, all of the growth that you enjoyed whilst there, connecting to your higher self, to source, to who you are becoming. All of this coming back with you now. Yes. Integrating now. Yes, you can feel your body now as you bring yourself back into awareness of your body. You can feel your body tingling, buzzing almost with this new charge of energy that you have brought with you. Yes. Purest love, purest acceptance. The energy of surrender to your being. And as you bring your awareness further back into your body now, you can feel things have changed. Yes. Shifted. Yes. You feel almost a lightness of being. A surrender. And as you enjoy that sensation, just slowly, slowly wiggling your toes, wiggling your hands and fingers, and bringing your awareness all the way back into the room and the space around you now, into your body. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and bringing yourself fully back into the room and this time. Welcome back. I invite you to pop a comment in when you're ready, when you're back. Let me know how you went. You're very welcome, Shannon. Let me know how that was for you, and if you've got any questions, if you've got anything that you want me to talk about or respond to, if you experience something that you would like to ask about in that meditation. You're very welcome, Tara. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So if you have any questions, any comments, like I said, pop them in. I'll give everyone a chance to sort of come back and recenter into their physical being, and ask any questions that you might have. This will continue to integrate and continue to just keep moving through you, this energy that we've connected to. So I encourage you to just, I'm glad you enjoyed it, JD. Yes, it is going to be an amazing year ahead. You still feel swirling, Shannon. You might still feel swirling. Yes, drink lots of water. Rest yourself. Allow the recharge. There's going to be a lot of recharge of energy. There's going to be a lot of probably movement that you'll be feeling. There'll be some shifts that you might experience. You might experience some emotion shifting and things like that. Just allow it, surrender to it, trust it. Know that it's coming from a beautiful place. It's coming from love. It's coming from source energy, and it's coming from your higher self, who absolutely loves you and embraces you and accepts you 100%. Alyssa, yeah, that was extraordinary. Thank you so much. Love and grateful thanks. I'm glad that was wonderful for you, Alyssa. Best Christmas present ever. Good. I'm so glad. Sharon, thank you for that was fantastic and much needed. Good. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. And you can go back and do this again. There'll be further integration and learnings that you'll receive the more you do this. So it's one of those sort of beautiful, endearing kind of journeys. Again, all of this is downloaded. I download this from my connection. So yeah, it's with the intention. This one's particularly is with the intention of integration and leaning further into that being and becoming. So I invite you, if you would like to do this at your leisure anytime, and I'll be posting the replay in the group. Thank you so much for joining me. Drink lots and lots of water after this. Integrations are always big. It always takes a lot of energy. There's been, like Shannon said, she still feels swirling. There's been lots and lots of energy moving through your body through this process with help as well. So it's important to recognize that. Honor yourself, be kind to yourself, and just enjoy. If you're joining me at night time, your time, enjoy a beautiful, restful sleep. And if you are joining me throughout the day in my part of the world, have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. Whatever you're doing, whatever you celebrate, have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, holiday season, time with your family, Yule, whatever it might be for you that you celebrate. Just make sure you're open in love, in compassion. And remember that 2019 is all about surrender. So absolutely beautiful. You cannot wait for this integration tonight. Thank you, Bron. You are very, very welcome. Thanks a million. JD, you are very welcome. Happy holidays to you too. Beautiful. Merry Christmas to you too, Tara. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. And I will see you again very soon. We'll hopefully do some more meditations in the new year. But for now, keep that integration going. Keep being your beautiful self. And just remember that just by being, you are enough. Take care. See you soon.